So hi everyone, we should be live now. Hopefully you guys will be able to see me and hear me. Would quickly like to get few yeses that you guys are able to hear me and you guys are able to see us as well, right? So please give us a quick thumbs up. A few yeses would be great, and then we will start the discussion. Perfect. So I have few more yeses would be good. Perfect. Perfect. So seems like we are all set. So hi everyone, welcome to this webinar. We'll be talking about everything that we'll be doing in the new edition of Career Camp, a program that we started last year, and we were getting a lot of requests that when are we going to start next. So that's something that we're going to do. The next batch is going to start next month. So along with me, I have my colleagues Dhaval and Nidhi. So just to give you a quick intro, Dhaval takes care of the complete placement cell as well as everything around like how the in case of the Ninjas Pro, like how exactly the income sharing agreement would work and everything around that, right? All the questions, Dhaval will be the perfect person to answer that. And Nidhi is somebody who is going to take care of the whole program end to end in terms of learning process. So any questions around what we need to do to make sure that like all the learning process is basically taken care by Nidhi. So all three of us are here to answer all the questions that you might have, and just looking forward to answer as many questions as possible. So before we get into question answers, would love to quickly talk about Career Camp. What is Career Camp, and then what is the changes that we have done in the new edition, right? So Career Camp is something that we started last year, as I just talked about. It's like a great extension to whatever we have been doing at Coding Ninjas. During Career Camp, you learn not just one skill, two skill, three skills. That's not the agenda. The agenda is you learn as much that is required to get you a great career in computer science, in software engineering, right? That's what the whole Career Camp philosophy is. So the idea is, why should we talk about, hey, do you want to learn foundation programming, or do you want to learn web development or aptitude or mock interviews or resume making? Like whatever is needed, we will take care of you from that perspective, right? So that's what basically we started with Career Camp. Career Camp started off with only being available for students in final year, or anybody who is a graduate who is already looking for, who is already have graduated from a college, is already working somewhere, or is looking for a job. That's the kind of generally students we were allowing in Career Camp. But that's not the case anymore. Like in Career Camp 2.0, that's the batch that will be starting in September. It's actually the fourth batch, not the second batch. But why I'm saying that is this Career Camp 2.0 is because things are very, very different now, right? So it's not just for people who have graduated or about to graduate. We are starting a Career Camp batch for first year, second year, third year students as well, right? So there'll be a batch for students who are in college, and there'll be a batch for students who are either in final year or have already graduated, right? A basic distinction: somebody who can get a job right now or like within next few months, or somebody who still has a longer period before they can actually join a job, right? So I'm sure a lot of you have read a lot about what the changes, the curriculum and all of that, and we'll jump into, let me just quickly take a couple of questions and then we will talk about these two domains that I just talked about. Like the one for college students in first, second, third year, we call it Ninja Scholar. The one for fourth years and graduates, we call it Ninjas Pro, right? So that's the two different versions of Career Camp. We will love to jump into all the differences, like what is the plan in each of them. Let me just quickly take a couple of questions and then we will talk about each of them individually. Okay, just give me a second. Right. So, okay, perfect question from Sumit. So Sumit wants to know, can dropouts join Ninja's Career Camp? So that's something that the answer is going to be an absolute yes, right? Actually, if you are planning to drop out, or if you have already dropped out, then we would recommend you to go with Ninjas Pro, because you fall into the category of students who can get a job in few months, right? So that's what I said, like in terms of distinction, right? Like if you are eligible to get a job in next few months, and Dhaval and Nidhi, please feel free to jump in wherever you want. But the idea is that if you are dropped out, if you have dropped out, you are eligible to get a job within few months. That being said, if you do plan to drop out and you've not done that yet, I would highly recommend you to first talk to me, right? And feel free to ping me separately. My email ID I'll share in some time. Please reach out, and I would love to talk to you to make sure that you are taking the right decision, right? So we should understand what are the pros and cons of doing something as drastic as dropping out of college, right? There'll be few limitations overall that you will face in your career because of dropping out. There'll be a lot of advantages as well, right? But we need to weigh the benefits and the cons of doing something like that, right? So I would definitely recommend you to please reach out to me and we can talk more about it. Okay. Okay, so Vidyadhar is saying why data science is not included in career camp. So that's partially true, that's partially not true. And Nidhi, would you like to take that? What I mean by being partially true and partially not true?
So in Ninjas Pro, we are not actually taking data science and machine learning as one of our courses, which we'll be teaching to students. But in Ninjas Scholar, we actually have an option where student in second year of Ninja Scholar can opt in for the data science and machine learning track. So the reason for not having this in Ninjas Pro, I would say, because in Ninjas Pro, our major target is to ensure that a student can fastest grab a job which a student is actually wanting right now, right? So that's the major focus I feel for a Ninja Pro student. And I think so we are covering data such as algorithms, we're covering web development part, front end, back end, and React and Node.js and all.
Right.
And we feel these are the preliminary requirements for starting with any advanced direction, maybe data science, maybe machine learning. So all these are topics which are required to completely understand machine learning in proper detail, data science in proper detail, and all. So we feel, okay, let's cover all these parts first. Let's give you the desired job, and then probably if you are interested in this domain, you can explore that later. So I think that's the reason we are not including
Right,
in just
right. Absolutely. So just to talk a little more on this, right? Like just so that everybody has clarity, let me just quickly talk about what is Ninja Scholar. How will the whole program run, right? So the Ninja Scholar program is actually a 24-month long program, right? So like a really long program, because what we really believe is that these 2 years, like if you're in college, I'm telling you, this is like the most productive decision that you would take if you decide to be part of Ninja Scholar, and if you like clear the bar in terms of test and interview and all of that as well, right? Because during these 2 years, what will happen, right? Let me just talk about that. First of all, what everybody should do as a first step towards software engineering is data structures and algorithms, right? So that's the first thing that we will do. We will go through that. We will do a lot of practice, right? We will start doing like a couple of mock interviews during this process itself, right? And as soon as you're done with that, we will jump right into web development. And we will do front end, back end. For back end, we'll be using Node.js. We'll be building a bunch of projects, right? And during this process as well, we'll be going through few more mock interviews. And wherever you need any help on your project, there are teaching assistants who are available. And not just that, you will have people from industry who will be helping you out, guiding you one-to-one in helping you complete your projects, right? So that's what's going to happen for the first, I would say, sort of like 7-8 months. And that's what you will be doing for the first 8 to 9 months of Ninja Scholar. Now, as soon as we're done with that, honestly, I think you are ready to do a lot of wonderful projects, a lot of amazing internships. That's what we will plan to do next. As a next step, all of us would either jump into doing really interesting projects, right? Or we will jump into some sort of internships. There'll be placement support available from Coding Ninjas, right? So we'll be helping you out in terms of applying to these interns, helping you in your resume, helping you in mock interviews. Everything will be done at that point, and we'll be helping a lot of you to get internships, right? And so we'll be either doing internships or we'll be working on industry projects. And by the end of this period of next 3 to 4 months, that is after a year of Ninja Scholar, you will be at a place where you can actually decide what is the right career path for you. Do you stick to web development? Do you move toward data science? Do you move towards Android application development? Or do you want to focus more on competitive programming so that you can target like very specific product-based companies who are going to focus on competitive programming as a way, as a criteria for their interviews, right? So that's basically what you will decide post the first year. And we will basically spend the next year spending a lot of time learning these concepts, working on projects, working on internships, doing a lot of open source work as well, right? All of that we'll be doing in the second year of Ninja Scholar. So this is what the whole program is going to look like. And why have we done web development as a compulsory part in the first year itself? Because we strongly believe once you learn web development, everything else is far easier, and you will be a better Android developer if you know web development. You'll be a better data scientist if you know web development. You will be a better like a front end or an open source developer if you understand web development really well. So these are the reasons that we believe that you should first do web development and then choose which direction you want to go. Right? That's the complete Ninja Scholar program. For these complete 2 years, you will have placement support to help you get an internship. If you are in third year, you're moving, you will like be, by the end of the program, you would be completing your fourth year, then we'll be helping you with placements as well, right? So during these 2 years, we'll help you in whatever support is needed in terms of internships, placements, mock interviews, support from industry mentors, and all of that, right? Perfect. Okay, so Dhaval, I think this one is for you. I am assuming Sahil, this is a question from Sahil. Sahil, I'm assuming he wants to ask this for Ninjas Pro. He's saying if I get a job of 5 LPA, will I be eligible to sit for companies offering more money?
Perfect. I think that's a very relevant question, and I think a lot of students would have the same question. Okay, so for this career camp reboot, there is a slight change in how we are looking at job offers. What we believe is that money is not the only criteria, and a lot of other factors do play a role into making it a much more fulfilling role for you. So that would include location, that would include your what kind of a job role it is, what kind of company it is. All of that factors along with the CTC makes an offer, which is something which you will be taking up, right? So as from the placement side, what will happen is that all of this information will be provided to you upfront, and you will have the choice to choose whatever company you want to choose based on the money, location, role, company name, etc., etc. So every student has their own preferences. We would want to honor that preference and ensure that you have a career, a fulfilling career in technology, right? So that is how it will happen, which means that this time there is nothing called as minimum income brackets. We are not going to we believe all of our students once they have completed our exit criteria will be skilled enough to take up whatever job they want. We would not want to bracket them into different salary brackets. But what we were going to do is we were going to make the placement cell completely open for you to choose whichever job you want to pick. If you want to pick a job, do that. If you think you want to pass a job, do that. However, in case you do plan to sit for the interviews for a particular company, both in internship as well as placement, and the company ends up giving you an offer, we would expect you to honor that offer and join that company. And that is a fair demand we have from the placement side for the students in career camp. What it also implies means that if that happens, our placement support for that student for another role will not be in place. So that is what we have to do, is also because this is fair for us, it is fair for you, and as well as it is very fair for the other students who are waiting for the next job offer coming their way. So to summarize it, choose wisely, take a call before applying, but once you apply, we would expect you to take up a job. So yes, so once you take a 5 lakh per annum job and it is satisfying for you, unfortunately, we will not be extending the placement support going forward.
Right. So, Nidhi, next one I would like to it will be great if you can answer. I think you will be the best person to answer this. So Anmol is our existing student. He is currently enrolled in the C++ program, right? He is done with more than 50% of DSA in C++. So first of all, Anmol, congratulations. This is great that you have done so much work already, right? Now the second part is where he's saying, I don't want to learn DSA again in Java, right? So is it okay if I skip the DSA part being part of the career camp?
Okay, so I would say the current students who have already done data science, or the students who haven't done DSA, but they know DSA already. So those students can move fast in the course. It's not that, okay, they have to learn all DSA in like all 2.5 or 3 months, the time which we are spending for other students. I would say you just need to come, clear all the tests that we have added just to ensure that student is having confidence in particular topics, and obviously we can also gain the confidence, okay, the student is actually having the knowledge of a desired topic. So as soon as the student is clearing the test, will let go that student move past that topic, and student can start with further topics in the course. For example, if Anmol is opting in for the Ninjas Pro, as soon as he clears all the DSA test, he can start with web development part and with all other skill sets which we have included in this course. For example, system design, resume building, soft skills grooming, and he can like spend his time more on other parts of the topic. And obviously, as soon as he's ready for the placements, we'll share his profile with our placement team, and he'll very soon start getting opportunities from our placement team. So I would say no need to spend that much time, but you need to clear all the tests that we have added, just for the confidence from your part and from my part.
Right, right, right. So Anmol, just to add a couple of lines here, right? You don't really have to learn DSA again, right? So for example, if you learn maths in English once, you don't really have to learn math in Hindi again. So if you learn DSA once, you know a DSA, right? Like so now when you move from C++ to Java, it's very easy, very straightforward. So as Nidhi said, you won't need that much time. You can quickly pass through this, but we would still recommend you to go through that program. That is part of it, right? So we'll still recommend that.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Dhaval, I think this is a perfect question for you again. So Manik Dahiya wants to know, will it be good for a person aged 30, currently a master's in electronics engineering, looking for change of field, and do you guys provide job guidance?
Okay, perfect. So Manik, I think absolutely. I think to answer the first part of the question, I think absolutely. I think the career camp content, the entire curriculum is perfect for you if you plan to switch careers. Age is no bar. In our experience of placing the last 4 batches of career camp, we have seen that the recruiting environment in technology in India is very evolved, and they do not focus much on the intangible background factors of age, pedigree, and all that. What finally matters is how well the student has performed in career camp. So just to give you an example, the performance of the career camp is the benchmark which is shared with the recruiter, and that is the only benchmark basis which these guys are recruiting students from Coding Ninjas career camp, right? So absolutely, I think this is a no-brainer. If you are determined and you have decided that you need to go get into technology, there is no better platform for you to make a switch than Ninjas. So Ninjas Pro. So in your case, probably Ninjas Pro would be the recommended program for you. Now coming to the job guarantee part, so there is no guarantee as such. We have so there is nothing called guarantee. What we offer is going to be an extensive and an intensive curriculum study, where the partnership will have to be both from us and you. You need to be a part of it and ensure that you do the rigorous education what is required in career camp, and whatever support in terms of developing your resume, developing your soft skills, developing your interview skills, all in the form of video, telephonic, as well as in-person interviews. All of those soft skills will be owned by us. The resume building will happen, and we will be lining up a lot of companies for you to get placed into, right? So what we can guarantee is a lot of companies who will come looking to hire you, but what we can't guarantee is the company giving you an offer where your role will be equally important, right? Now, in Pro particularly, there is a small uh, payment method through which you can call it technically a little bit of guarantee, is that if you choose to go in for a post-paid program, there we do say that unless and until you do get placed during the tenure of the program, you need not pay the remaining of the fees. So what happens in case you don't get placed, you don't pay the remaining fee, and that is the extent of guarantee what we can, in a practical world, anyone can offer. And that is how it will be. But so that is why what we say is that our incentive and your incentives are completely needs to be aligned. And if that works, trust me, getting a job after this course is not going to be difficult. These are lifelong career education skills. It is not only for a job which happens just at the end of the program.
Right, right. Thanks, Dhawan, for that. A quick question from Sai. Sai is asking, the course explanation is in English or is it in Hindi? So Sai, the whole course is going to be in English, right? And you can interact, like the whole live sessions, everything will be in English as well. You can interact with the TAs, teaching assistant, and the mentors, like in your preferred language. What is the preferred language both for the TA as well as you, and for the mentor as well as you, right? So whatever you're comfortable in, that is going to be the language in that conversations. But for the course, for any sort of live lessons, all of that will be in English. Nidhi, that's correct, right?
Right. English only.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. So Abhishek is asking, is there any prerequisite for career camp? Nidhi, would you like to take that?
Okay. So, like, we are offering two different programs in Career Camp. One is Ninjas Pro and other is Ninjas Scholar, right? So, Ninjas Pro is for students who are in final year or are already graduated, just reiterating that. And Ninjas Scholar is
Right.
for those students who are in currently first year, second year, third year. Basically, the students who cannot join job immediately after the program, I should say. Now, for the Ninjas Pro, there is basic prerequisite that you're familiar with some basic coding. Like, I'm expecting that you have some idea on programming, because we have to land a job in like 9 months. So that will become a lot easier for you and for us, so that we can work on other important skill sets also. So if you're familiar with basic programming, like if you know basic if else, for loop, arrays, like if you have that basic knowledge, that will be good to start with. So in Ninjas Pro, we are expecting that much knowledge. But in Ninja Scholar, we have ample time to start from very, very scratch. So the only prerequisite is that you are ready to spend your efforts, your learning, your time with us, and we can make you learn whatever skill is required to make you job ready and to kickstart your career in technology. So Ninja Scholar, no prerequisite as such, except your motivation and your like zeal to learn. But in Ninjas Pro, basic coding experience will be a good plus to have.
Okay, I think Ankush is stuck. So I'll just go to the next question. There is another question, Nidhi, which is sorry. So there's just one question which is just similar to this. So Kunal is asking that can we do career camp with the job, and how many hours per week does the student need to spend? I think that's a question which is essentially about what is the time effort for the next 24 months or the 9 months in Pro would be required. So maybe if you can take that.
So I would say it'll require around 15 to 20 hours a week for you to spend to complete the course. So you can do this with job, but you need to ensure that you're able to spend like around 15 20 hours in a week. If you can spend that in weekend, that will be great. But if you can spend like 1 or 2 hours daily, I would say that will be more favorable to complete the course.
Right. And can you do the career camp with a job?
Yes. If you can spend, like, I would say, like, if I have to answer this question, if I'm in a job, I have to do this program, I'll just answer, like, question myself, can I spend 15 hours in a week or not? Maybe in weekends, maybe throughout the week. If answer is yes, I would say yes. Otherwise, we need to, like, little manage our time better and find out some time to do this course.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. So, right. So just to add, right, like, so one of the questions that I'm seeing a bunch of people are asking, like, so for example, just to be clear that we are answering this well, right? So somebody named Coder Dilse is asking, if you're not taking any guarantee for my job, then why should I pay you? Right. So that's an absolutely fair question to ask. So, but one thing that you need to realize is, you join the program and you don't work hard, how can I guarantee your job, right? Like, so in the end, what you need to realize is that what I can guarantee is that you will, if you do your part of the job, right? If you work hard, then I'll make sure that you are learning. We'll make sure that you're learning and you have the right skills, you have the right preparation in terms of mock interviews, in terms of resume, in terms of test. We will make sure that all of that is done for you, right? But what we can't really promise is a job, because that is effectively saying that whether you learn something or not, somebody will hire you. I'm telling you, if that was something that I was offering, that'll be like it'll be very, very different. The whole thing will be very, very different. If there was a way for me to say that, I mean, like, I would effectively be a magician which can actually do magic and not do tricks, right? So that being said, one thing that you need to realize is something that Dhaval mentioned as well. In the hack plan of Ninjas Pro, what we are saying is you are paying an initial fee as part of registration for the course, but the major chunk of the fee which you're supposed to pay later is linked to you getting a job. So effectively, even if we guarantee you, right, like what would guarantee mean? Effectively, it means that you don't have to pay us. And that's exactly what that plan is saying, that the majority of the fee, you don't really have to pay us, right? You pay us only if you actually get a job. And I'm telling you, that is the closest anybody can come to guarantee in any sort of scenario. So what we're saying is you still learn the whole thing, you still go through the whole process, but you don't pay a major part of the fee if you don't get a job, right? And I'm telling you, if you actually learn the whole thing, if you go through the process and you keep your side of the bargain, right? Like, your side of the bargain is that you'll work hard. And if you do that, then we are, that I'm telling you, like, it's very unlikely that you will not have a job by the end of it. Right. So let's see what's the next one. Okay, so Ray is saying, why are there so less seats? What should I do if I don't get selected? I really want to get into career camp. I'm starting my second year. Right. So, Ray, I think I would like to take that. See, first of all, we need to make sure that anybody coming in, right? So I'll tell you, right? So there was a question around prerequisite, and I'm sorry, like, that time my video got stuck, so I couldn't really add my points there. But the point was that, are there any prerequisites? I'm telling you, there are basic two main prerequisites here. One is your willingness to work hard. That is the biggest prerequisite here, that you are motivated to work hard. And we will judge that one way or the other during the process, right? That's going to be one thing that we really need to make sure, that you are somebody who is going to stay motivated, who is going to work hard and has the right reasons to get into the program, right? That is the first part. The second part is that you have the basic aptitude to learn. So Nidhi mentioned that we require basic of programming. We absolutely do that. But for example, I have enough cases when we admitted somebody into the career camp program, they had zero idea on programming, but they were amazing on aptitude and they had very strong willingness to learn now, right? So you really just need to show that willingness, and you need to make sure that you're like doing really well in some part, and like we are able to see that either you are really great in aptitude or your programming skills are really good, right? So something needs to show up for us to basically give you an admission to the program. Why are there so less seats? Because we believe that we really want to start with this size of batch to make sure that we give our maximum time to these students. They get the best, so what all we are promising mock interviews, we are promising one-on-one industry sessions, we are promising resume filtering and all of those things. And all of that requires a lot of effort. And we believe whatever number we pick, we want to do complete justice to all the students. So that's why it's a relatively smaller number that we will start with. Okay. Okay. So, Nidhi, this is from Varun. Varun is our ex-student, but Varun is saying that he didn't really work hard during his course that he took with us. Now he wants to take Ninja Scholar and he wants to take the competitive coding part. So what would be your thoughts on that? Is that a good idea?
Definitely, I would say. So you've already taken data such as algorithms with us. Maybe you haven't done it properly, but I'm sure you must have learned something out of that course. So in my perspective, you'll be like one of the student who is moving faster in our course. Like you can come with us, you can join, you can start with data such as algorithms, you can complete this course very quickly because you already have some idea on that. You can then proceed with web development, and then you can obviously start with the competitive programming part, which will start in second year of your Ninja Scholar part. And if you are sure that you want to take this competitive programming part, I would say definitely you can go with it and you can start with this program. Like I'm actually not understanding like what is the question, why he's doubting like he cannot take this path.
Right. So I think okay. So let me just quickly add a little bit on this. Right. So Varun, first of all, uh, one thing that I would one thing that you should really think hard is why didn't you work hard during the last time? If you think that's going to repeat and you will not work hard this time as well, then I don't think it's going to be a very good decision. As I said just right now, you need to work hard along with us to get the best out of this program, right? Effectively, if as teachers, as education provider, we do our job, but you don't do anything, then we can't really do much in that. So you need to make sure that you have the right motivation now. That is the first part, right? Other than that, I think absolutely, like you should definitely consider doing it. One thing that I would recommend all of you to do is do not make up your mind that you want to jump into competitive or do you want to jump into data science, do you want to jump into web development. That's a choice that we need to make a little later. And why I am saying don't make up your mind right now, you will be far smarter in a year after you have gone through that year of Ninja Scholar than what the knowledge and what the worldview you have right now. You will have a lot more knowledge, you will have a lot more exposure, you will have a lot more projects, internships with you so that you can make the right decision. So please don't make that decision right now, right? You might have some inclination, but please don't get stuck on something. You will be able to decide that 1 year later. Okay, so great question from Harsh. So, Dhaval, I think this will be something that you will be able to take. So, Harsh is saying, Harsh is a third year student. The placement scenario in the college is 100% people in CSC get a job, but the job is generally around 4 to 5 LPA. And Harsh has higher ambitions. He wants to know if he takes Ninja Scholar, can he expect to get better package?
No, that's a fair question. And Harsh, I think the one word answer is absolutely. This is something which you should be very confident upon that this program is going to help you get that job. Okay, so to make it more precise, so what will happen in the career camp, right? One, you are going to get the skill sets which are going to put you at a distinct advantage from your peer group across the college, right? So you will have that certain kind of developmental skill set which generally a college student graduating in India does not have. That already makes you a distinctly advantageous to other compared to other students. Second, in career camp, you will have access to the pool of the companies which would not typically come to your campus. I'm not sure which campus you are from, but the pool of companies which will be coming to your campus are of a certain kind and have a certain expectation from that campus year on year, and that is why how the CTCs have come to a certain price range of 4 to 6 lakh. What will happen in career camp is that you will have an access to a pool which is much more wider and larger, which will include companies from Amazon to Microsoft and everyone, the top companies as well. So what will happen when these companies are interviewing you as a career camp student with a skill set equivalent for them to hire for an entry level job, the packages will be equivalent benchmark to the industry standard what they offer. So the moment you are a career camp student, the college, the liability you have of from a particular campus college in terms of this particular CTC bracket, that goes away and opens up a lot more opportunities for you. I hope that answers your question.
No, I think that was very, very clear, and that makes a lot of sense. Just want to add like a couple of lines here, that one thing that is great about software engineering that we have seen as part of career camp as well, companies are focusing a lot more on skills rather than focusing on what college you're coming from. And I'm telling you, if you become part of career camp, by the end of it, the skills that you will have will be far, far better than what you would have without it, right? The amount of practical work you would have done, that'll be far, far more. And that is the biggest reason that the kind of package you can expect will be far better as well, right? Perfect. So, okay. So I have a couple of questions, which I think are really great questions. So Vedant is asking, how is the Career Camp Pro different from the Career Track? Although the price of Career Track is very less as compared to Career Camp Pro. Now that's a perfect, great question. And the only difference I'll talk about this a little bit, and Dhaval and Nidhi, please feel free to add something on that, right? So when we're talking about Career Track, right, and when we're talking about Career Camp, like these are very, very different paradigms, right? Like what we expect to do here, what we expect the student to do here are very, very two different things. So for example, in case of Career Track, right, you will learn these skills, absolutely. There'll be TAs who will be helping you out. But the idea there is that you're learning these skills, you're working on projects. But the idea in case of Career Camp is, what is it that we need to do to get you that job? As simple as that, right? So what that means is, you're learning foundation, you'll do mock interviews. Because mock interviews are very, very important. That is only specific to Career Camp. While you're doing web development, you will have access to industry experts for one-to-one discussions to make sure that you are unblocked on your projects and basically you're building great projects as well. And along with that, like for example, a bunch of people as part of the Career Camp Pro as well, join internships through our placement cell while they are preparing for and applying to other companies for full-time offers, right? Along with that, if we feel that, hey, you need a little bit of help in aptitude, then we are not going to come and tell you that this is not a course that is part of Career Camp. Because Career Camp is not supposed to be some fixed course. Career Camp is supposed to be whatever is needed to help you get there. If aptitude is required, that'll be taken care of. If your resume prep is required, that'll be taken care of. If you need help in HR interviews, that'll be taken care of. So the paradigm is very, very, very different. And the amount of effort that is required from our side is extremely different as well. So a combination of these basically is to get attributed into the pricing that you're looking at as well. Is that fair? Dhaval, Nidhi, do you want to add anything in this?
Yeah, I just want to add one point, which is I think the summarization of what you already said. So in Career Track, we are covering all three courses, which you can see. Okay, you have taken C++, then data structures, then competitive, and so on. And in Career Camp also we are learning like superficially we're learning these three courses only. So first of all, I would say superficial courses, like on top level we're learning these three courses, but apart from these three courses, we're learning a lot more other skills also. For example, operating system is required, which we'll be learning. DBMS, knowledge of DBMS is required for getting a good job. for getting a good career in technology. System design is also required. So whatever is required, that will be doing. Your soft skills grooming is required. That will also be covering in the career
Right.
gap.
Right.
So in one line, I'll be saying in career track, we cannot hold your hand throughout the course and take you like from very beginning to the destination, which is like landing a perfect job. But in career camp, we're actually trying to hold your hand and like walk you through the entire journey to reach to your final destination, like with one-on-one support, because here we are taking limited students, and that is possible from our ends also. So coding ninja faculties will also be touch with students for one-on-one discussions, for live webinars, for live sessions. Industry mentors will be there to take your mock interviews, to help you understand your projects, to help you create good projects, to deploy your projects. So whatever is required to build your strong profile on different platforms, or like in terms of projects, in terms of resume, will be doing that part. So I think all that addition helps you achieve what you exactly want to ultimately take after completing any course. So I think that's the void we're trying to fill in career camp.
Right. Right. So a great question coming in from Manisha.
I think one sorry, just I think one thing we just do like to add is that the students should also be cognizant of the fact that career camps like Ninja Scholar is a 24-month long program. So it's a extremely long 2-year duration program, which is going to be a lot of work from your side and our side for 2 years, right? And it will cover a lot more content what we would typically cover in a 6 to 9 month career track program. Right. So the fees you are paying is for a 2-year program, and career track is a 6 month to 9 month program.
And I think if you do like a per month sort of a number, it'll come to very similar number in both of cases.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure. So great question coming in from Manisha. So Manisha Rani is asking that you guys have only very limited seats. What about the students who would be interested but couldn't clear the test? Dhaval, why don't you take it?
Sorry, you'll have to repeat the question for me.
Right. So Manisha is asking that you guys have only 50 seats.
Yeah.
I want to do it. Let's say I don't get it. Now, what do I do now?
Yeah. Okay. So Manisha, okay. So first of all, I think what Ankush had mentioned, I think I'll reiterate as well. The limitation of the seat is a limitation from our end, because we want to do the justice of ensuring every one of our students is getting a good quality education, and which means that we will have to be sure we can teach that many students. So taking that thing completely aside first, which means that if we are able to teach a lot more people, we will subsequently want to have batches which are much larger, right? So probably the next batch might be 100, 200, 300, as and when we have the confidence in ourselves that we are equipped to teach and do justice to whatever we are asking for you to do. If you guys are going to spend your 20 hours a week to give to us, we need to be able to equally support you in terms of your education as well as your placement. So the batch sizes will keep on increasing. And if you don't get into one batch, please feel free to apply to the next batch. We will plan to have batches as often as once a month, if possible, and we will plan to have batches as large as possible going forward. So it is currently the webinar is just about the first batch. You need not worry on that. We will have more batches in case you don't get into career camp this time.
Right. Maybe we have a couple of people who are big fan of yours. They're just saying hi. Just wanted to mention it here. Right. So next question coming in from Ronak. Ronak is saying, what if a student is not placed by the end of 9 months or say 12 months? And if one manages to get a job after 9 months on their own? Again, a really, really good question. Again, Ronak, I'm assuming that you're mentioning this is about pro. So that will actually
yeah, sure. So what I understand from this question is that what if you get a job through your own means, that is access to companies through your own connects during the tenure of the program, and I think you are specifically talking about Ninja's Pro, and you get a job.
So sorry, Dhaval, just to interrupt, right? I think what he really means if he gets a job by himself post 9 months or post 12 months. So I think he's a little bit confused that the duration of the tenure like of the program is 9 months or 12 months. So post the program if he gets it by himself.
Sure,
So
sure.
I think, yeah.
Sure. So, okay. So, I think what you will have to realize is that that the tenure of the program is specifically about the learning module, and whatever you would have learned in that duration. And even if the job gets delayed and you get a job offer post the completion of the requisite 18 months in Ninjas Pro, which is 9 months of training and 9 months of extended placement support, that will all be due to the effort you had put and we had put in you getting that job. However, in the issue of complete honesty, what we have done is that in case you have chosen the hack plan, your liability to pay us gets expired at the end of the program, that is the 18 months in Ninjas Pro. So if the question is about, do you have the liability to pay us if you get a job after the program of 18 months is over, then the straight answer is no. We would not expect you to be paying. And that is merely a technical, because you need to have an end deadline to any liability. And that is how the 18 months has come into play. If your question is that you get a job on your own during the tenure of the program, in which case definitely you will have to pay the remaining amount under the hack plan for Ninjas.
Right.
I hope I have answered all the versions of the questions.
So Ronak, you absolutely have. Right. So Pritish, Nidhi, I think this is for you. Pritish wants to know, are lectures released on weekly basis or are they released all at once?
Okay, so in our courses are actually, I would say, a mix of pre-recorded lectures plus live webinars. So that means the lectures which are pre-recorded that you can cover on your pace. From our side, we'll be releasing lectures on weekly basis. For example, in 1 week, I'll be releasing 2 lectures, or let's say 3 lectures, based on difficulty of a topic or based on what students should cover in complete week. So based on that, we'll be deciding. And if a student is able to complete those lectures in a faster manner, the further lectures will be unlocked automatically and student can obviously move forward. So that's the one part. The live webinars that we'll be having like twice a week maybe, to discuss around different topics, different problems, and to take common doubts of all the students in our batch. So I think that will happen twice a week, and that will be fixed, I think. Okay, so yeah, lectures will be released on weekly basis, not at once, but they'll keep on unlocking as soon as you are completing.
Okay. And just a follow-up from Pratish only, do you have any peer group activity in Career Camp as well?
So peer group activities there in terms of discussions, if discussions are involved. Currently, we don't have any like peer assignment as such. So assignments are done on individual basis. For example, if you're learning data structures in initial 2-3 months, you have to do your assignments on your own. But if you want to have a discussion, there are multiple channels. For example, we have Slack, we have a way to connect with your peers on CodeGen also, like on our portal itself. You can connect with them through emails, Slacks, and with other mediums. We'll be having live webinar sessions also. There also you can connect with your peers. So there are multiple channels through which you can connect with your peers. But if you're doing web development and you're doing any project, and if you feel like you want to do this project in like a group of 2 or 3, so we'll be okay with that, and we'll be like saying okay, you can, like, one student can handle the front end part, maybe other student can handle the back end part, and you both can collaboratively complete the project, and we can finally deploy that. So we can do that.
Right. And one thing that I would like to add here, right? Like one type of interaction which we have found to be extremely productive is a TA student interaction.
Right.
Because once you become a TA, you're helping a lot of students solve their doubts. That means you're helping a lot of people debug their code. And I'm telling you, that is like an amazing skill set to learn. From that, you get to learn looking at code. What is the time complexity? Is it good? Is it bad? Is there like any test edge case that they missed? And while you're doing all of this, you become really good in programming. Why am I mentioning this here? A lot of students in career camp, as they're done with the first part, like within the first 3-4 months, as they're done with data structures, they tend to become TAs for the next batches or for like other part of our career, our whole like our ecosystem, and they're helping other students solve the doubts, right? So that is one more area of interaction that you will have with your peers, right? Where you'll be helping them out in resolving their doubts. You get paid for that as well, first of all. And along with that, you actually learn a lot and you interact a lot with your peers, right? Perfect. So, okay. Next question. Shubham is asking, I'm joining MTech in NIT Agratala this September. Can I join career camp? And I'm going to add an extra line there. Which program should I join? So I'll just go ahead and answer that quickly. So absolutely, Shubham, you can definitely join career camp. The one which will be fit for you will be Ninja Scholar, because for a simple reason that you will be available for jobs 2 years later, right? So Ninjas Pro is not the right plan for you. You should join the Ninjas Scholar program. It's going to be a 24-month program. And I'm telling you, it's going to be an amazing journey along with your MTech. Throughout your MTech, you'll be doing a parallel journey with us. I'm telling you, it's going to be amazingly fruitful. And it'll definitely help you get the right job after your MTech that you have been looking for. Right? So that will definitely happen. Okay. Okay. So Mathematica is asking, I've just completed class 12th and I'm joining VIT Vellore. Can I join? The answer is very similar. You can definitely join, right? Ninja Scholar is definitely made for first, second, and third year students. And we will basically, by the end of second year, I'm telling you, you will be at a place where your like seniors who would have graduated 1 year ago will be in terms of skill set and learning, right? The amount of work you would have done will be like amazing in terms of how much you will know, how many projects you would have done, right? Like all of that will be far, far better than like the fourth year students, as well as I would say, I would go on to say 1 year of people who have graduated as well, right? So definitely something that you should explore. Okay. Rahul wants to know, do we place students abroad as well? Rahul, why don't you take that?
Sure. Sure. I think placing students abroad is also a lot to do with technicalities in having some amount level of work permit for you to go in there. So as of now, we have not yet explored having companies coming in from abroad for our career camp students, primarily because these are issues related to work permit and visas. However, this is not something which we are very averse to. In case there are certain students who have specific inclination as well as eligibility criteria of a work permit of working in a particular company, I am sure our placement cell will be able to help you out in getting jobs in specific territories. So we are not averse to having international jobs.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. So, right. So I think there are a bunch of students who have done a course with us or who are doing a course with us, and they want to know how is career camp going to be different for them. Should they consider it or not? And any other different things that they should know from the career camp program, about the career camp program. So first of all, if you're considering Ninja Scholar, there is a alumni discount that you will get in that if you have been a student with Coding Ninjas. That is one thing that I just want to mention. I think that is at around 10%. That's what you'll get if you want to join Ninja Scholar, right? So that is one part. Second part is, I think we just answered like some time back how career camp is a very different paradigm where like there's a lot of mock interviews, there's a lot of work on your soft skills, on your resume, on your aptitude, and all of that, right? So very, very different paradigm. So definitely something that you can consider joining, that you should consider joining. Now, couple of questions have been around, hey, I have done DSA already. Will I have to spend equal amount of time in career camp? The answer is, what will happen is, you have done DSA already, so the first part of career camp you will quickly finish. You will still finish, but you will quickly finish. You will move on to the next part very quickly, and you will be ahead of everybody else by a decent margin. That automatically means you will complete the program early, and you will start sitting for placements early as well, right? It's as simple as that. So as soon as you complete the program, you start sitting for placements. So you will be able to complete it faster, but that is based upon that you consistently keep working and basically maintain that pace, right? So definitely you'll be able to complete your program faster, but you still have to go through the content. It's just that you'll be able to complete the content faster, right? Okay. Harshit is saying, I think Dhaval, this is for you. Harshit is asking, will all the companies be product based, or will you have some service based companies as well?
Okay, so as of now, majority, and when I say majority, more than 90% of the companies have been product-based companies, and that has been our focus as well. So from a placement point of view, the idea is that the companies should be the ones which where you can utilize the skill set which you have learned in the program, and that is the basic criteria for you to have a fulfilling job, as well as the kind of companies we would ideally want to bring in. Now, suppose say there's a company which comes in and who's a service-based company, and we will not talk about the salary brackets here. It is not to do with salary brackets at all. It is just about the kind of a role they are offering. In case a company comes in where we feel that this is something where your skill set, particularly your developmental skill set, which you would have learned in terms of say full stack or machine learning or Android, are not going to be utilized to the full extent, those companies will not be a part of our placement cell. But any company where you feel the fitment is great, you are able to apply whatever you have learned, we will have those companies on board. By definition of that criteria, majority of these companies turn out to be product companies. However, in case there are certain companies which still do fall under the category of services, but we feel are great companies for our students, I think they will be a part of the program.
Right, and eventually, right, like you have the choice to which company you want to apply to. That's something that Dhaval mentioned earlier as well. So that's totally your choice. Okay, so Dhaval, we have a fan for you as well who really likes your beard.
Likes my? That's a beard.
Okay, great, okay. So Rajat, sorry.
I think so. I think there's one question which I saw a couple of times was around COVID. Do you want to take that?
Right.
The impact of
so,
COVID and how
the question around is, what is the impact of COVID on overall tech jobs and placements? Right. That's correct, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So should I take that?
I can go ahead. Like up to you. Yeah.
Okay, let me just quickly give some snapshot, and then probably you can complete. So I think, so I like this question, and I think this is a question which I was expecting a lot early in the webinar. A lot of people are at home, and this is something which you should have asked. So in all honesty, absolutely, COVID has been an impact across the economy, and the job market has definitely taken a hit. And there is no doubt about it. If you go out in the market looking for jobs today, I am sure you will have the same sense that the jobs have come down what it was earlier. But being an insider to this environment, there are certain things which I can tell you is that the impact on the tech side of the jobs has been the lowest in terms of when I compare the similar kind of job in say ops or other business development activities. So tech has taken the least of the hit. Also, when we look at the recovery pattern of jobs in the market today, tech jobs seem to be recovering at a much faster pace than the other jobs. Right, so that is where the situation currently stands today. Now, if you look at the program and if you look at the tenure of the program, whoever is joining the September batch essentially is graduating or is looking at joining a company not before the first 9 months of the program, right? So we are already talking of middle of next year. All the indications currently say that the tech jobs should be, if not better, but at par with pre-COVID era by the time you guys will be graduating in the next 9 months or so. So for that, I would say ki COVID impact will get minimized as we go ahead. However, having said that, I would say that you can always argue that this might prolong, and there might be a lot more students in the market, a lot more students looking for a job, then will it make it hyper competitive? And I think my answer here will be yes. For some time, it appears that the job market is going to get much more hyper competitive. And why I wanted to bring that point here is that because this is exactly the reason why you need to have a skill set which differentiates you from the majority of the crowd. So having lower jobs in the post-COVID era is the reason for you to actually put in a lot more effort now and ensure that you are the one who gets selected when the limited jobs are in the market, right? And so don't take it the other way around. Jobs nahi hai to padna nahi hai. It should be exactly the other way. Agar job nahi hai to fir zyada padna hai. And that is how philosophy, we have seen that happening before, right? We had seen the 2008 crisis and all of that. This is how it has been. Newer kind of jobs comes in, higher skill set demand comes in, and people who have really differentiated themselves are able to cope up with any kind of downturn.
Right. So just to add, like I think Dhaval has covered that really, really well. Just to add a couple of lines there. So last week, I actually conducted a webinar with Mr. Tarun Mata. He is founder of highrisk.com, which is one of the leading tech job portals. And he actually had data to share where the number of tech jobs that they were getting on Highrisk is actually at the same similar level that was pre-COVID, right? So that's data that he actually shared in the webinar as well, which kind of tells us that it's not just qualitatively that we are talking here. Like we actually have proof here as well that like we are all getting almost back to the level where we were in terms of pre-COVID, right? Perfect. So Rajat, a very specific case, I'll just quickly talk about that. Rajat is saying that he joined the previous career camp batch, didn't work hard. Can he join career camp again? Rajat, this will be a good case where you might want to reach out to me or Nidhi, and we will basically quickly have a discussion with you and find the best way forward. Right? Please do that. Okay. Can we expect a new career camp batch with data science? I'm assuming you want to asking about Ninjas Pro. Really hard for me to answer right now. I think we will have something in some time. When I say some time, because I don't know how much time that will be, right? Like, so that could be 3 months, that could be maybe a year. So I don't really want to like comment on that. So that's something that we are not sure about. Okay. So, okay, Hemant is asking, how much amount do I pay before joining career camp? I'm in 4th year. Dhaval, would you like to take that?
Sure. So I think the question is for both the programs, Scholar as well as Pro.
For Ninjas Pro, like how much do I pay? Because I'm in 4th year.
Got it. So, I'm sorry, I forgot the student's name, but for Ninjas Pro, currently we have 2 plans for fees payment. And okay, so these are this fees is essentially the fees you are going to pay for the education which we impart, and that is the career camp program. The mode of payment is we have given 2 options. One is an upfront payment, which is currently at 1.25 lakh. That is inclusive of GST. That is a completely prepaid, which is essentially like which is lower than what you will end up paying if you choose the hack plan eventually. But this is but it's a completely prepaid plan. In the hack plan, you are currently expected to pay 50,000 upfront. That is the fees for you to join the program. Sign a deferred payment agreement, which is an income-linked agreement document with us, and then based on the CTC of the job you eventually get, your liability is calculated, which is currently at 10% of your annual CTC for the next 2 years. So if I have to give you an example, if you end up taking a 10 lakh CTC job, that would mean you will end up paying us 2 lakh rupee over a tenure of 24 months and 50,000 which you would have paid upfront. Right, so that is the overall fee structure. To make it easier for you to pay us, we will be providing you support from our NBFC partners as well as credit card facilities. Zero cost EMI for 6 months will be available for all payments for Career Camp upfront. So all upfront payments of Ninjas Pro and as well as Ninja Scholar will have a zero cost EMI available. For the deferred income linked plan, we also have again partnered with NBFCs who will be helping you out with your the 24-month EMI based plan as you get into a job. So whatever support we can provide in ensuring that it's easier for you to pay, the fee will be given to you upfront.
Right. So that will just to be clear, so that everybody understands that when you say NBFC, are these like just normal loan companies?
Yes. So NBFCs are essentially the companies who do provide loans from an institutional perspective, but do not have a retail face. So these are not the banks like HDFC and ICICI which you hear, but these are companies like Tata Capital and Reliance, all these guys who are not into retail business, but they have the mandate to provide loans on an institutional commitment basis. So just to give you a name, so we are partnered with Just Money, and more partners are also coming on board. These are all big companies, who aggregator companies who will be supporting you for all your requirement of fulfilling the fees.
Right. So guys, we are already 8 minutes over the scheduled time, but I guess we'll just quickly take 4 or 5 more questions, but quickly try to run through them. Right. So I have something from Pooja. Pooja is asking, since I've graduated in 2016, will there be any problem while recruitment? Pooja, as we mentioned earlier, honestly, the only thing you should focus on is getting the right skill set. And I'm telling you, tech companies are the most open-minded in terms of who all can apply, who all cannot apply, right? We have a bunch of people like who are preparing for UPSC, now they want to learn, right? And they do really well, right? Like once they get a job. We have enough cases of people, like for example, mothers who have taken a break and now basically want to go back into the job. I'm telling you, tech companies are the most open in terms of getting and people even after having a significant gap in their resume, right? So definitely something that you can do. We have something coming in from Rian. Rian is asking, do you assist international students? I'm currently a Linux sysadmin and would like to learn programming. So Rian, I would recommend you to reach out to one of us and have a discussion on this. I mentioned earlier that I'll give my email ID. I'm at ankush@codingninjas.com. So feel free to reach out. My team will share this email ID in the chat as well. It's ankush@codingninjas.com. So please reach out there. Particularly for you, Rian, like as we said earlier, majority of the companies coming in Career Camp happen to be companies in India. So that is why I'm recommending you to have a quick discussion with us to make sure that if you are getting in, you can make maximum out of the program as well, right? So please do that. Okay. So, Dhaval, can you quickly mention a few companies which you are working along with as partners for placements?
Oh, okay. So currently, from placement perspective, there are a lot of companies we are engaged with, and directly companies. Also, we have other channels as well through which a lot of companies come on, right? So to give you a little background, so Coding Ninjas has a very robust referral program through our alumni as well, and we have taught more than 30,000 students in our history, right? So there is a huge ecosystem of Coding Ninja students, ex-alumni sitting in some corporate job at a top MNC, and that is where we go out, reach out to them and request them for referral. So that is one chance. So we get access to a lot of companies which probably may not be available for students directly. Apart from that, currently we would have partnered with roughly 250 odd companies across the spectrum. That includes your Amazons, as well as it would include a lot of small startups who have taken a drive. I don't have exact numbers, but I think for the October batch, we would have already done more than 120 odd companies would have come in with JDs and done their drive, right? So the numbers would be in the same range. So that is the extent to the reach we have in terms, and this is when I'm talking in terms of when the COVID was at its peak. So the companies are all, there is no limitation. I can give you names, but the names would be the same. We have Amazon coming in, which has done multiple drives with us. We have Avalara. I think recently one of our students did post it out when he got there, a job there. We have Policy Bazaar, we have Cult, we have Zomato, we have Myntra. I think whatever company you would want to get into, I think we will have that. So you need not worry from that part.
Right. So guys, let's take the last three questions before we close the webinar. Right. So, okay. So one I would like to take is on. Right. So let's talk about this one. What is the ratio of amount of students in career camp and what were the companies? Right. So I'll quickly take that. So this is a question coming in from Harsha. Right. So first of all, we have had 4 batches. Only one batch has graduated, which is the October batch. The January batch is about to graduate. January had 2 batches, and February batch is yet to graduate. Right. So in October batch, we are, I think, at close to around 50% in terms of people who have an offer, right? And along with that, a lot of students are still going through the content. So it's 50% of the overall batch. But if I talk about people who have completed the content and who are sitting now, this number is far better. It will be close to like 75, 80 in terms of people who have actually completed the content and are now. A lot of people are still going through the content, trying to complete now. And that is one of the reasons we have moved from 6 months to 9 months in terms of the duration of the program. Because we realized 6 months was not good enough and it was putting too much on all the students. So we decided to make it a 9-month program. And because the October batch was 6 months, so we are at around 50%, but a lot of students are now completing the course and are getting eligible for the program. So really, honestly, the worst time for these people to graduate just because they, the 6 months period ended in April, right? I think in April was the worst in terms of being hit by COVID, right? And I think now speed, we see a lot of speed picking up on placements for those batches as well, just because, as we mentioned earlier, tech jobs are picking up now very, very quickly. Right. So, but I think data is really, really promising for the first batch as well.
I think the numbers are. I think the numbers are absolutely correct. We are close to a slightly more than 50% of the batch with offers. 30% of the batch is still undertaking the course, which as and when they complete the exit criteria, they will be sitting for eligible, and the remaining 20% are undergoing the process of a lot of placement drives. I think currently 15-20 placement drives would be currently ongoing at different stages. So that is happening. I think from a complete transparency perspective, we would really urge you that if you know someone who is a part of career camp, a student who's already a part of any of the batch, we would really urge you to have a word with them and understand more and get a better sense of what kind of a teaching methodology as well as the placement support we provide, right? I'm sure a lot of students would have provided their details over social media about career camp. Please feel free to reach out to anyone. If you need help in connecting to a certain alumni of career camp who's got a job, you want to speak to them, we will be happy to arrange that through whatever medium we can. So we will keep it completely transparent for you to get the confidence yourself if you need to speak to someone in career camp.
Right. So, okay. So, Dhaval, it will be great if you can take this one. The question is, I currently have a job of 6 LPA, right? And let's say, this is asked by Pradeep, and let's say I'm not able to get a better job and I continue with the job that I have right now. Do I still need to pay you guys the 10% of if I take the hack plan?
Sorry. So, if I understand correctly, the question is that you have a job and you continue to, you choose not to leave that job and go for a higher job and continue with the same job and package. In which case, if you have picked up hack plan, we would, you will not be liable to pay the remaining amount of the link to your income plan. Again, even though we understand that this would have helped you in getting the skill set required for your future growth, but considering the limitation we have in terms of the duration for liability we can create, if you do not show tangible benefit in terms of monetary sense coming out of the program, we will ensure that you have no liability to pay. So under that principle, you will not be eligible, you will not be required to pay us the remaining amount.
Okay. And, so one more question we have is, why have you raised the initial payment from 10K to 50K, right? So that's something that I can answer easily, right? Like, so see, previously we had an option of initial 50K as well. And one thing that we kind of realized is that initial payment basically brings in some commitment, right? If you make that, like, that's very good filter for us in terms of, are you really serious about investing your time and money into something like this? We will be investing far more than the amount that we are asking for from you. But the point is that we need to make sure that you have the buy-in as well. You are committed to this as well, right? And to make sure that it doesn't hit you, right? Like, it doesn't become a financial burden for you. It doesn't become something that you cannot afford. As Dhawan mentioned, we have all sort of EMI plans for you. So for example, if you take a 6-month EMI on the initial payment, you don't have to pay any interest. That'll be taken care by us, right? So you just pay 6 equal installments of 50K and you don't have to pay any interest on that. The EMI options are available through any credit cards, as well as, I think, like, there are a bunch of credit cards through which you can get the EMI options, as well as you can get the EMI. If you don't have access to credit card, you can use Zest Money or maybe one or two other partners through which you can get that EMI like approved from them, and then basically pay in EMI as well. So the only reason we have done it is, like, we just need to make sure that you are committed, like we are committed into it. Are you committed as well? That's the only reason we have done this, right? And again, the investment we are going to put in is far, far more than what basically we are asking for your investment this time. Okay. Right. So just one last question. I will quickly take this up. Why do all product-based companies focus on DSA? Why don't they care about if I know Flutter, if I know React, if I know web development, right? Why do they just focus on DSA? So first of all, I think the basic assumption in the question is not right. Coding Ninja is a product-based company. We don't care a lot about your DSA skills. We focus a lot more on your web development skills, or your data skills, or your React skills, front-end skills, your machine learning skills, right? Like, these are things that are far more focused for us. So the difference is, there are startups which are product-based companies. There are larger companies which are product-based companies. The larger product-based companies have an assumption that they need to hire 1,000 engineers every year. And there is no way they can find 1,000 engineers who are really good in these skills, because that's not what they are used to in terms of skill set that students will have coming out of college. They know if somebody knows data structures, that it is good enough, right? Don't expect too much. They will not be able to hire otherwise. They're just used to hiring on basis of data structures. Whereas startups, they need people who are ready to go and start working, right? They can't wait for like 2-3 months to prepare and train people and then become productive. The larger firms can relatively afford that, right? But it's not that they don't really care about your dev skills. That play a very, very important role. That plays a role in terms of the projects that you can put on your resume. A lot of your interviews will be about the work that you have done. That automatically means that if in your resume there is like 15 minutes spent on your resume, in each interview 15 minutes are spent on your resume, automatically means that you have to solve far fewer data structure algorithm problems than somebody without that in their resume, right? Automatically they have spent a lot of time on your resume, on your dev skills, and the data structure algorithm requirement has gone down a little. So the assumption is a little wrong, and learning these skills is very, very important and it really helps. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think we are now 20 minutes overshoot. Dhaval, just last question. Definitely the last one. I've said this multiple times, but this is definitely the last one. Ronak wants to know, can I pay the full fees for Ninja Pro in one time? I think I'm a little confused if he means for the program or if he means post the program. So would love to
we'll
hear from you
answer
for
both.
both.
Yeah. So there is a standard plan which is before the program where you can pay the entire amount upfront. So that option is available. I think that is very clearly mentioned on the website. I think what you are, talking about is the income linked component of the hack plan, which happens once you get a job, which typically happens on an installment basis through our NBFC partner. However, we do encourage students that if you think you can pay us the remaining hack fee upfront, we would prefer and encourage for you to do that. For the last 4 batches, we have been offering an additional 10% discount on top of their overall your liability if you choose to prepay when you get a job. That will continue to be the case in this batch as well. So just to give an example, if your total liability at the end of the program is 2 lakh to be paid over 24 months, you will be able to prepay 1.8 lakh and free yourself from any liability of future payment. Right? So that is what we will do.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. I think we have answered most of the questions. Really amazing webinar. Really enjoyed answering all the questions. I think amazing questions asked by everybody. And thanks a lot, Nidhi. Thanks a lot, Dhaval. And yeah, hoping to see all of you at the test. The test would consist of a little bit of aptitude, a little bit of programming, right? And nothing out of the world. We are just looking to find people who are motivated, who have done basic amount of work, like who either have really good aptitude or some programming background. That's the kind of people we are looking at. And best of luck for the test. It's on Sunday, right? And right. So it's on coming Sunday. So please register for the test if you're not done that already. You will be able, like our team will be sharing the link in the chat as well. And you will be able to find Career Camp if you go to codingninjas.com, or you can directly go to careercamp.codingninjas.com as well and choose your plan and apply for the admission test. Perfect. Thank you everyone for coming.
We also have that masterclass on Saturday on the front end.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So how did I miss that? So we have a masterclass on Saturday where we will be building a project in like a 3 to 4 hour long webinar, where we'll basically start from basic and actually build a front end project, right? From starting to scratch, like from the beginning till the end. It'll be an amazing time that you can actually enjoy and like build something from scratch within a single webinar. So definitely would recommend you guys to join. Dhaval, if you can share a little more details, that'll be great about the timings and like how they can join.
So I think that webinar is already live and listed on the event section of Coding Ninjas.
Right.
So Akash will be taking that event. I am not sure of the timing of that. I think it is in the second half of the day, but the link will be shared by the team in the group itself. Please have a look. And this should be something we would encourage everyone who's looking to take up a admission in Career Camp.
At 4 p.m.
Please do. It's 4 p.m. right? So do take that masterclass. That will be a good view for you to see how the overall education will be in the Career Camp as well. And please ensure that you guys are signed up for the test event on Sunday, which is at Sunday 8 p.m. Right? So these are the 2 steps you have you need to take before you get into Career Camp.
Perfect. Okay, guys. Good night and best of luck for the test. Hope to see you on Sunday on Coding Ninjas. And yeah, best of luck. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. All the best.
Bye.